Hello everybody and welcome back to I Was the Teenage Exocolonist. We are getting near the end of our Marz playthrough. We are at age 17. We've still got a ways to go though. We gotta make sure we keep our luxurious girlfriend happy. And we've also gotta make sure we keep annoying Seek and Lum. But before we do any of that, I'm gonna run and check on Sim. You will see me again when we find something interesting. Hey Dees. Never mind, I can't go outside. I forgot. I am gravely injured. I think it was a manticore or something. I think Sim died again, you know, he does that all the time. We'll just administrate instead. Who cares if you're bleeding on the paperwork? Uh-oh. Game! No! Game? Uh-oh. Don't die on me. Whew! No, it did! It's my 17th birthday, but it's not just your birthday. Quiet is a time of new growth, a celebration of life and hope, not just for this year, but for humanity's presence on Vertumna for years to come. You and your friends are a symbol of that hope, quite literally. You're the future of humanity. As you're beginning to take your places as adults in the colony, the council has decided to throw a party in your honor. The Vertumnan Youth Ball. Marz is organizing, of course. You get an embossed invitation on real paper slipped under your door. Of course I've gotta go. It's my girlfriend's party. She's organizing it. You slip into some party clothes and head over to the lounge to celebrate, well, yourselves. And yourself, specifically. It is your birthday, after all. It is. Marz catches your eye and waves, her bangles jingling joyfully. She looks like a model from her holo mags, every inch of her primped, painted, and perfumed. Yabby, happy birthday. I'm glad you could make it, she says over the thrum of the music. Drinks are over there. Make your song requests to congruence, and take off your shoes. You look down at your boots, then back up at Marz skeptically. She rolls her eyes and does a little bounce. Sock hop, just like on Earth. Duh. She's so pretty. She's so freaking pretty. I love her. I'm gonna dance. You, Rex, and Marz takes the dance floor. After a while, Anemone follows, pulling Vase behind her. Grab a partner and pull them close. Get an audience with Marz. Marz strikes a pose as you approach, demanding with her body language that you take her hand and bow deeply before dancing with her. It feels a little silly, but Marz is something of a princess. She twirls you around the dance floor as if every inch of it is her domain, and you, her courtier. It's exhilarating. You two are the talk of the dance floor, that's for sure. You narrowly avoid bumping into Anemone and Vase, who have stopped dancing and skipped directly to sucking face. Marz rolls her eyes and chides them to get a room. OMG. And then the party gets crashed. I am going to tell everyone about your hemorrhoids again if you don't leave right now. You are cautiously optimistic. Marz is holding court with a small group of teens, already applying her spin on things. This is actually a good thing, she insists. Truly, we are never going to get anywhere as a species if we just sit here and wait to be attacked every year. Plus, it'll give Lum something to do so he stops bothering us. War is always a time of huge leaps in technology, too, Tang adds. Think of what we'll be able to accomplish. I don't know about that, guys. Oh yeah, you're still alive. Sorry. I've been more focused on the romance aspect than the familiar aspect, I must say. Ooh, what's up? You find Marz going through old holo photos from when you were all kids aboard the Stratospheric. She gives you a sad little smile and pats the couch next to her. Come look through the photos with me, she says. I forgot about some of these. Marz brings up a picture of Anemone and Cal from when they were probably 4 or 5 years old. They're both stripped down to just their pants and have painted monster faces on their chests and are standing on top of the table in the creche, waving swords above their heads. You remember that table being a fort, a pirate ship, a haunted house, and a jungle cave, depending on the day. Look at them, Marz says, smiling. They used to be best of friends, right? Whenever you saw one of them, the other was always tagging along behind them. She sighs. It's so weird that they, never talk to each other anymore. I mean, I get it. Anemone got all weird about being a soldier after her brother died, and Cal really doubled down on the whole hippie aesthetic. Yeah, it's sad that they grew apart. Marz hums non-comedically and goes to the next image. Tammy's gentle face smiles back at you. She's in the ship's galley, learning how to make soy sweets from Aunt Antecedent. She's wearing an apron, but almost all of her is covered in different colored powders used for flavoring and coloring the sweets. Even the tips of her pointed ears are dusted with it. Marz sighs. "Oh, look at this one." "Look at her sweet little face," Marz croons. "Just a little baby. She's simply the sweetest, like a soy sweet. Her and Cal are just disgustingly perfect for each other." She touches the screen fondly. "I hope he spoils that sweet little angel absolutely rotten. She deserves it. I don't know what we'd do without her." Marz taps through some more photos, pursing her lips. "I swear there's at least one picture of Deese in here," she mutters. It takes almost a minute, but she finally finds one. Tang and Deese's joint 5th birthday party, complete with matching soy cakes. Their mother, Besk, is just out of frame, a drink in her hands. "Oh, this was before Deese got all weird about his birthday," Marz hums. "I still have no idea what happened there. I mean, who doesn't like birthdays?" "It's weird to see them so happy together," she continues. "I can't remember the last time I saw either of them really smile like that." Marz sighs. "And now Tang spends all of her time cooped up in engineering, and Deese spends more time outside the colony than he spends in it. It's just so sad." Marz stares down at the little hologram in her hand. "I didn't mean to bully him so much," she admits softly. "I thought I was helping him learn how to fit in, like toughening him up a little, so he didn't cry so much, you know?" Her mouth twitches in a sad smile. "But I guess I ended up just pushing him further away. When I was little, I didn't understand that words could hurt people, because they don't hurt me." "You could have been nicer to him." Marz sits back and sighs. "That's true." "Oh, that's such a pretty picture." The face, it's like nostalgia, but it's also like sad nostalgia. You can see it in her expression, like missing those days when things were easier, when we didn't have a coup going on. "It's weird looking back on when we used to be kids," Marz muses. "We were so innocent. We had no idea about the wormhole or Vertumna. No dying, no famine, no killer pollen, no animal attacks. I mean, we didn't even have bad weather on the ship. All we cared about was playing in popularity." Marz gestures to herself. "Now look at me. I'm working on the bridge, and you know it's all politics. It's like a professional popularity contest." "Lum is an idiot, but he's got one thing going for him," Marz laughs. "The man has an absolutely impeccable social media game. If nothing else, he knows how to get people to vote for him. Really, that's all you need." Marz leans over and rests her head on your shoulder. Her hair smells like jasmine. "Thank you for going through those pictures with me," she says quietly. "I try to keep my eyes on the future, but sometimes it's nice to remember where you came from." "Those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it, as they say." Ooh, being Lum's assistant isn't the glamorous life of political intrigue you were hoping for. He's more of a soldier than a politician, and even then, you hear he's not much of a soldier either. If he notices that people mock him, he doesn't seem to care. It almost makes him more boastful, like he thinks the sole duty of the governor is to soak up as much attention and power and wield it whenever and however he likes. Whenever he's questioned on something, he unleashes such a torrent of bravado and barely veiled threats that it's impossible to make your own point, and then he just pushes through what he wanted to do anyway. It's infuriating. Given that the colony's governance was based around the idea of communication and empathy, no one seems to know how to contain him. As for the Helios, they seem to have their own ways to get around him. They're grateful he's gotten into politics because that means your older and more experienced security chief Rhett makes all but the largest military decisions. In fact, you think some of them enjoy that he's such a moron because they hope the colony fails. They think he's entertaining. Marz is responsible for producing his social media content, which he considers an important part of his brand. They mostly consist of powerful-sounding but ultimately empty speeches about how great the colony is doing and how proud everyone should be of their really, really, truly great work. Just fantastic, really, while carrying a log of mushwood so he looks super strong. You and Marz are huddled in command, trying to avoid his attention, while Marz scrolls through Lum's selfie roll, trying to pick the best one for social media. "As a political strategy, it's not unheard of," she mutters. "Plenty of Earth dictators used it. I just can't tell if it's his official strategy, or if he's really is this vain." It's the toss-up, honestly. Oh no. You hear footsteps approaching, and Marz groans. Lum clasps his hand on her shoulder and smiles broadly. "There you are! I was thinking, in the next video, I think the colony is ready to see some footage from that counterattack I led against the enemy aliens." Oh, stars. You've heard of this. Lum plays the footage, a shaky holopalm recording of Lum screaming, "For Earth!" and charging into battle during the attack just before your 17th birthday. He looks like a complete idiot, his stupid cape flip-flapping in the wind and his face purple from exertion and fear. You can barely stop yourself from cringing. The scene erupts into chaos in the explosion that almost got everyone killed. You can't believe this is the footage he wants to hold up as proof of his bravery and vision. This is great footage, Marz simpers. Just really great. It's actually perfect for Yabby to practice on their video editing skills. You shoot Marz a stinky look, but she just smiles. Lum agrees. With such great material, he practically did your job for you. How are you going to spin this into a propaganda piece? Oh, do your best to make him look good, try to make him look bad, tell him how stupid this is, or convince him to try something else. Well, why don't we try all of these? Just because I'm curious. First, let's start with tell him how stupid this is. Lum laughs and brushes you off, unbothered. It's content, he replies. Have it on the social before dinner and you can credit yourself on the video. I can get credit? Wow! What every person wants when they're being commissioned for something. Totally not money or anything, you choosing beggar. I'm just kidding, he's a dictator. He can do whatever he wants. Let's try do your best to make him look good. And that's really hard. Oh my god, it really is. I could do it, I could do it, I could do it. There we go. You toil over the footage, adding music and effects until he looks more like a leader and less of an impatient nincompoop who doesn't know how to not blow up his own people. It's really, really hard. Lum's happy with your work, and that's what matters. It's not about being good, it's about looking good. Alright, what if we make it look bad? I love how it even says easy because he literally looks awful already. We don't have to do much. You crack your knuckles and settle in to make Lum worse than the joke. You make him a meme. Marz cackles as she watches the video, then hits send. It's perfect, she says. I don't care if he looks bad. Garbage in, garbage out, you know? She sighs wistfully as people start... What was that? What the fuck? She sighs wistfully as people start to react to the video. I would give you much better source material. Alright, what if we convince him to do something else? We do have just about persuasion 100. I could actually probably take off my card, too. The jacket. Let's see. We could take that off. Let's get the secret admirer gift up in there. Alright, convince him to try something else. You manage to convince Lum that the colony's still too traumatized from the attack, that they won't have positive associations with Lum being involved, even if he does look like a hero. Lum begrudgingly agrees. I kinda like the one where I embarrass him some more. We're gonna make that the canon one. I'll be right back. I won't show it again, don't worry. Just know that in the canon version of this run, I turned him into a meme. There we go, and with that, we got to 100 persuasion, baby. New perk? Social boost. Ooh, perfection. Alright, I probably should relax and then go out and see Sim now. I've kind of avoided it long enough. Ooh. Hello? You're surprised by Marz's soft hands covering your eyes. Yabby, she croons. Come with me. I have a surprise for you. Giggling, Marz leads you to your bedroom and removes her hands from your eyes. Still giggling, she gestures to a canvas-covered easel in the middle of your bedroom. Ta-da! Ooh, are you gonna take me to bed now? Yabby, Marz sighs, smiling even as she gives you a gentle thwap on the arm. Get your mind out of the gutter for like 5 minutes. Marz grabs the canvas and pulls it away from the easel with a dramatic flourish. In the painting, Marz is standing atop a mountain, raising her fist to the sky as lightning crashes around her. You're there as well, grasping a flag emblazoned with an image of the stratospheric as it whips heroically around you both. Marz runs her finger down the painting's elegant frame. It looks like real wood, not nanoprint. I commissioned this from Nomi, she says. It's like a genuine patron of the arts. It might be the first piece of fine art ever created on this boring rock. What do you think? It's beautiful, thank you. Marz smiles. Of course, darling, only the best for you. Marz folds the canvas and sets it aside, and then sits down on your bed. She bids you to come sit next to her, and takes your hand in hers. I just wanted to do something to thank you for everything you've done for me, she says. She squeezes your hand. You're my best friend on this whole— Wait, best friend?! Oh, okay. She continues. You really get me. We're the BFFFE, best friends for freaking ever. She leans in and gives you a kiss, and you're not bad looking either. I promise I'll keep you on your toes. I expect nothing less, Marz replies. She seems genuinely sincere. The problem with people in power is that no one has the guts to stand up to them and tell them when they're wrong. You talk for hours about your lives and plans for the future. Then, as the yellow afternoon sun sets, the two of you step out to your balcony to watch the colony grounds. Marz pulls a glass bottle from where she's hidden it under your bed. It's no 1945 Chateau Mouton Rothschild, she says, uncapping a nano-printed bottle with a satisfying thump. But it'll do. You pour what's left in your canteen into a nearby potted plant, and Marz fills it with fermented mushroom wine. Cheers to us, she says, clinking the bottle with your canteen. There's nothing together we can't do. Aw, I love you. Also, I think she's on the menu now. She is! Look at her! Oh, I love her! She looks so good! Also, maybe this is just the English major in me talking, but I like how both she and Cal are looking up towards the sky. They're both, ironically, the most optimistic characters, because although Marz is a bit of a cynic, especially when it comes to Lum, she's also very optimistic about the colony's future, and she wants to look towards the arts and make a world where, survival isn't the only thing we're worried about, where we can actually create art and have our own culture. And that's what makes her an optimist, is the fact she really wants the colony to thrive, and so I like that she's looking up in this. But then again, I could just be looking way too far into it, just like my English teachers. Anyway, back to this. Ooh, at the next FSFC club meeting, Marz is frustrated that it's still just you, Marz, Tang, Tammy, and Cal. Tammy comments that she thinks it's nice when childhood friends still hang out together when they get older. Marz rolls her eyes. So I talked to Lum, she says, then holds up her hands in her defense. Not about the club, okay? I know how to keep a secret. I just wanted to get to know him better and see if he would be interested in a little extracurricular activity. Tang smirks. Long story short, Lum's a total idiot, Marz sighs. All he wanted to talk about was how the colony is going to keep winning and winning, and now he wants me to help him make HoloNet vids for propaganda. Like, oh, look, we're doing so good, yay! Marz scowls. I mean, first of all, yuck. Second of all, double yuck. He just wants to sit at his desk all day and pretend like he doesn't see what's going on outside. I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's actually worse than Uticott. Marz slumps in her chair and puts her head in her hands. What are we gonna do about this planky nullhead? We should overthrow the governor! Marz's eyes go wide. Well, we could. Why not? If we want a better future, we're gonna have to build it ourselves. Lum's war on nature is really bad, too. Cal speaks up for once. It's like he thinks everything will be okay if we just hunt all of the animals here to extinction. But if he does, it's gonna screw up the food chain real bad. Tammy nods her head in agreement. You look at the little SFC pin in your shirt and realize your silly little childhood club might be turning into a bit of a political organization. Oh yeah, because if you stop attending, she'll bring that up and she'll be like, oh, we've actually been working on something like that. But in this timeline, I was the one that suggested. I was the first one to be like, let's take him down. We need to get rid of him right now. I'll get the pliers. You want to spend some time together? Marz lifts one eyebrow at you, smiling secretively. For you, darling? Of course. What did you have in mind? You walk on the walls. You and Marz go for a wander on the colony walls, where Marz points out everything she dreams of for the colony. 2 museums, one for Earth history and one for Vertumna, she says, gesturing to where engineering is right now. Bistros and cafes littered everywhere, of course. No more eating from the canteen kitchen 3 times a day. 2 theaters, obviously. One for holovids, one for live performances, including live music and dance. She gestures out towards the wilderness. We'll have to expand, of course, but isn't that our nature? She looks so genuinely enthusiastic that you can't help but kiss her, which she returns in earnest. It's exactly what I was saying before, so she's so eager to help the colony thrive, and I love it. I love it! Ooh, though most people have made great efforts to find common ground, unrest between the Strato and Helio factions is common. The colony was founded with peaceful, egalitarian goals, and the soldiers and scientists of the Heliopause represent everything your parents in the Vertumna group were trying to escape on Earth. This fundamental culture shock can be a bit difficult to navigate, even for those with cooperation in their hearts. Then there are those who do not wish to cooperate. Instance barges into command while you're on shift, not waiting for an audience before she starts barking at Lum. "Governor Lum," she snaps, "tell your soldiers they are not and will never be welcome in my lab." Lum blinks. "Soldiers?" he says. "Do you mean the researchers?" At Instance's terse nod, Lum smiles and puts his feet up on the command console. "What are you, a teenager?" "We brought Earth's finest scientists with us, Instance," he says condescendingly. "Experts in their fields, every one of them. I thought you'd be grateful for the help." "As assistants," Instance snaps, "not as lab heads. You can't just come in here and instate—" "I can, actually," Lum says, spreading his hands innocently, like it's not his problem. "Look at this place, Instance. Your weird hippie experiment failed. If it weren't for us, you'd be burying each other right now." Says the person who blew up the colony a few months ago! "Everyone has to work together." Just then, the aforementioned researchers catch up to Instance and start talking over each other, demanding that the governor order Instance to stop treating them like interns and start promoting Helios to lead the positions. Instance starts yelling back, and command becomes a chaos of scientists screaming and waving their arms in concertation at each other. Well, who do you think I'm gonna side with? I'm gonna side with Instance. Instance is right to protect the colony from presumptuous eggheads with Earth's poisonous ideas in their head. If the researchers want to help, they can do as they're told. You add your voice to the din, though probably only Lum hears you. He frowns. Lum tells you to ignore them and get back to work. "I'm gonna listen while I file reports." You could practically write these reports back to Earth with your eyes closed, or in this case with your ears open. You half-heartedly type up a report and continue to listen in. "If you think I'm going to just hand over classified colony intelligence to a bunch of space cops," Instance spits, and the researchers all clamor to deny their relationship to the Heliopause military. "Don't you pretend like you don't want to send me back to Earth in chains," she snaps right back. "That's why you're here, isn't it? You don't care about Vertumna, you care about recovering your master's stolen property." "Uticod Hal Fluorescent," she says. "You're just here to arrest us all." Instance stands, ramrod straight, her face crimson with fury. "Well, you're not going to get me, and you're not going to get my work either." Lum steps in, finally. "Now, Instance," he says, "you're right. We were sent here to bring you to justice. But now we're one colony. Neither ship is leaving Vertumna again. I sent a message to Earth telling them that the colony was a failure, and justice had already been served. No one's coming for you." "How can you know that?" Instance says. "We haven't heard anything back from Earth since we went through the wormhole. They could be sending a new fleet of ships right now." A strange expression crosses Lum's face. "I've been in contact with Earth," he says, with an air of finality. "You fucking liar! I know you haven't! I snooped before. I know that's a lie. They haven't answered in years." "They told us to stand down and refocus efforts on colonizing Vertumna." The room erupts into chaos. You try to get back to work. These reports to Earth that you thought were just busy work may be more important than you realize. No, they're not! He's gotta be lying. We looked at it last episode. There's no way he's actually talking to the people on Earth. We haven't gotten a response since we left the wormhole. He's just bullshitting. He's trying to get his way again. Ooh. I didn't know I could hate him more until I started doing the freaking assistant job. Vertumnalia. Oh yeah, and this is the last time that the festivals will be held. So I'm gonna say, what?! Then I gotta make this one count. Oh yeah, and Tammy's gonna be a mom! You're still alive! Tammy's pregnant?! Tammy descends from the stage into a gaggle of surprised and excited friends. OMG, is it really true? Marz asks immediately, taking Tammy by the hands. Yes, Tammy exclaims, like the secret is bursting out of her. I'm finally going to be a mommy, just like Aunt Anne. As you stand and marvel at Tammy's news, the adults all start putting away chairs and setting up for the games and contests. Marz puts her hands on her hips. So, she starts, What does everyone think about this war on nature? I think it's stupid, Cal says immediately. I know survival is important, but we don't have to kill things to survive here. Marz rolls her eyes. Duh, of course you'd think that, she mutters. Personally, I think Lum is a total nullhead. He's not that much older than me. What is he, like 24? And everyone listens to him? She flips her hair over her shoulder. They should listen to me instead. Finally, you're all called to participate in the games. Let's see. Talent show. It's the last one. Boop. You report backstage where Marz and Rex are prepping their acts. Rex is sidled up to Marz, complimenting her on her outfit, a spangly, sparkly thing that clings to her figure. You see the reason for the outfit when Marz takes to the stage and launches into a total showstopper, using holograms to digitally change her clothes as she belts out this incredible aria. When the song is over, honest-to-goodness pyrotechnics blast off all around her. The colony goes wild for it. How do you follow that? Rex gives it his best try, performing something between gymnastics and martial arts, throwing himself in impressive rolls and flips set to music. Marz gives you a kiss on the cheek. Knock 'em dead, babe. Dance your heart out, plastcutter sculpture? Or recite poetry, plastcutter sculpture? I want to just slice and dice things. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Oh my. Was not expecting that. You know what, it's Vertumnali. I'm gonna push through. I can't let her win now. I've been the champion since forever. I'm sorry, Marz, I have to win. People are a little concerned when you haul out a mushwood log in an industrial-sized blast cutter, but swiftly become amazed as you hack at the log until a basic shape forms. You switch to the details, blocking in the facial features, then fine-tuning. You reveal your work with a flourish. It's a bust of yourself. How novel! You win by a margin of vacuous applause. You know what, I honestly, if it was between somebody doing a sculpture and Marz's performance, I don't know who I would pick. But if it's by audience applause, I can understand why it might be easier to tell. Ooh! Oh, the construction yard! You should come by and help me. I will in another run, Rex, I promise. Oh, and I don't even have enough toughness. Sorry, my dude. Another time. How about we just hang out? Oh, it's time for your end-of-term humanities project. You, Tang, and Marz are all very excited to finish this project, showing everything you've learned in this subject so far. Hal helps you come up with your project idea. Pretend you're students 500 years from now and you're learning about the first colony on Vertumna. What sources of information would you be reading, watching, or listening to in order to learn about life back then? Create one of these artifacts for future students of the humanities. We should write a textbook, Tang says during your brainstorming session. The more we show we've learned, the more likely we'll pass the class. All we have to do is make sure everything is in there and we're done. Marz rolls her eyes. That's so boring, Tang, she whines, putting her head on Tang's shoulder. Who wants to write the literal book? We should do something funny and stylish. Like, ooh, we can make a music video. Tang looks horrified. We are not making a music video, she says, grimacing. Surely we can meet somewhere in the middle. Okay, Marz says. Let's be serious here. Tang's right. We have to do something that proves we learned everything about the subject that's worth knowing. Marz is right too, Tang admits. There's no shame in relying on her charisma. You mean my good looks? Marz asks, flipping her hair over her shoulder. Tang looks down at her hollow palm and smiles. In the end, you agree to record a news segment about the colony's war on nature. What spin are you giving the news report? A rebel cry, down with war, just the facts, or a call to action to defend the colony. Well, both of these, no matter what you choose, because even if it is right that the call of the war on nature is wrong, I mean, having it be a rebel cry is propaganda in its own right. We should do just the facts and let the future Vertumnan students come to their own conclusion, or at least that's how I see it. There we go. You, Tang, and Marz pour everything you have into your final project. It's a hit! You even posted on the colony message board and get tons of comments and even a few kudos. It's gratifying to know that something you've written is being enjoyed by the people you love. Is this why old Earth poets wrote so much? Hal smiles at you. Congratulations, you three. As an Earth poet once said, if you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going. Learning is a lifelong journey, he says, so feel free to audit this class whenever you'd like. Nice! I was hoping we could finish humanities. I'm sure there's other stuff, but I did want to get the increased, stuff from it. Alright, I think this is the year of the siege. Oh, yep it is! Alright, I'm sheltering. You post up in bed and scroll through Congruence's media library, intending to wait out the attack here. You wait a long time. The sounds of fighting don't cease for hours. You're deciding what to do. Your holopalm chimes with a While you're deciding what to do, your holopalm chimes with a priority video announcement. Oh, yep, it is the siege. Stay strong, Vertumna, whatever. Marz and Nomi are excited to skip work and watch holovids. Tangent is frustrated she can't go to the lab and concerned for her experiments. Cal's worried about the fields. Only Vase and Anemone are silent, probably because they're still out there fighting. In the permanent dusk of glow, the day seems to drag on forever. Again, you have to force yourself to sleep with the sound of gunfire drifting through your windows. When you wake up the next morning, you realize you can't stomach another day of being cooped up in your room. Your anxiety has congealed into boredom. Anemone and Vase are either fighting or sleeping, and you haven't heard from Dees in days. You bet your other friends would appreciate a visit, though. Join Marz and Tang! You meet Tangent and Marz in the lounge. It's nearly empty except for the sound of Aunt Anne in the kitchen, cooking batch meals for delivery to everyone's rooms. I can't believe they're keeping us here, Tangent complains, pacing the floor. I know, it's so boring, Marz adds. I've already watched everything twice. I simply cannot sit in my room alone for one more minute. Tang stops pacing. Well, I really have an experiment that I shouldn't leave unsupervised, she says, but I suppose your thing is important as well. She sighs and crosses her arms. Dr. Instance won't let me anywhere near the labs. I have to stay with the kids. Ugh, Marz replies, rolling her eyes, like you're not the biggest brainiac this side of the wormhole. Marz flops down next to you and drapes her legs over your lap. No one here knows what to do with us, the best and brightest of the colony. What a waste. 4 more days pass. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you hear a curious sound. Silence. You run out of the colony square to see the soldiers returning from their posts. It's over! Yay! And Lum did nothing, and Rhett is angry as he should be. Don't worry, Lum, we're already planning a coup. I mean, Rhett. Oh, shoot! Marz, we gotta run! We gotta go! But in all seriousness, that was a very fun episode. We had a lot of content in that one. Like I said, I've barely done anything, especially when it comes to assisting the governor. I wonder if that's going to change once we have Marz take over, or if there's going to be a different thing for it. I'm not sure, because if you get her to be governor and she hasn't already done it, or if you haven't already gotten it, she straight up asks you to become her assistant. So maybe some things will be different once we become her assistant. We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited either way. But until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourself, romantically plan a coup, and have a good day.